Coming Up Air is a streamlined 10 tracks, so like no frills, no filler, you are direct, straight to the point. Did you feel pressure to create a more expansive, longer 22 track album? I say this because there is a pressure on artists now to kind of gain the streaming system and charts and have like 22 tracks like debut.
No, I didn't really feel any pressure because it depends, and I'll speak candidly, it depends on what kind of deals you sign. Do you know what I mean? It depends on who you work with and how much creative control you've retained or you can speak for within your situation. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they invest a lot of money and they have the formulas to be able to get their money back, but you just happen to be the conduit for that. Do you know what I mean? Which is unfortunate for some people, but can be great for others. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it's just a lesson for everyone in between. But with me, I write a lot of the treatment ideas for the videos. I creatively direct a lot of the videos, credited on a lot of the videos. I pick the directors because obviously normally what would happen is you would write a song or you'd present your songs to the label, and then they would help you pick the singles, or they would pick the singles provided on what kind of relationship and situation you have. And then they would go and pitch those singles to directors that they think would help elevate your ting or whatever the case may be. And then those directors would come and give you briefs or treatments, and you'd pick a treatment and you'd meet the director, I can imagine, or whatever. I don't do none of that. I think I write the song. I usually writing the song, I'm seeing the visual already. So I'm like reverse engineering a visual or a moment in my head already. That's how the song comes out. That's how the lyrics come out for the most part. So then what will happen is I will try and I'm fiercely protective of my initial instincts about things or my initial ideas. So I want to try and I've seen the visual in my head already. I want to try and make that happen. If I can't see the visual, the song's not good enough. Do you get what I'm saying? If it's not a movie in my head, if the song doesn't incur a movie in my head, it's not good enough. Something needs to change or be added or taken away or whatever. So I will end up writing the idea for the visual in my head down. That will become the treatment. And then I will go and find a director who I think can pull that off best, because I know directors, innit? And like every artist will eventually have a creative community if you're here long enough, of people you can lean on to help you make stuff real. Do you know what I mean? So I'll go and find a director. He will do the treatment. Then I'll give the treatment back to the label, and then they will pay out for the video. So I've always had creative control, and then now I've done enough like brand stuff and whatever to be able to do that with branding as well. You get me? And obviously you have a certain respect when you meet people in front and behind the camera. So you're like, yo, can we do it this way? And they're like, yeah, that might be cool. And then now you're creating an identity for how people see you and how you're presented, which helps you build your world, which helps people find their place, which brings them to your shows, and in an earnest way, in a real way. You get me? Yeah, and that's essentially how kind of I didn't find myself in a pressured position, like, because I came in, I wasn't 16, 17, ignorant about music in my bedroom. I'd already been in music since 2016, and I'd had all the no's and I'd done all this stuff. But these people that I'm working with now, that I love now, didn't know me then, and they didn't know what I knew. Do you get me? So there's always conversations to have, and that's when you figure out, are these people for me? Hopefully you haven't signed the contract by that point. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't really feel a pressure to give a 22-track album. I felt a pressure to get the right message off, because I know that some people have emailed me and sent me messages about how songs I don't even remember a lot of the lyrics to, respectfully, because I wrote them so long ago, have saved their life. Do you get me? Songs I would probably never perform now. Do you know what I mean? And like, oh, I used to be an aerial force engineer in like America somewhere, or a technician in America somewhere, and I found you when I was in a dark place, and this song that you wrote on your EP back in 2018, 2017 saved my life. Like, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have this song. So now, I never really feel a responsibility to pander to that respectfully. I know that came because I just spoke my truth. So I'm fiercely protective of, like, the things that I'm feeling are the reasons I make music. So if you try and augment that because you don't know, you're not informed enough about, or haven't listened deeply enough to what I do to kind of understand why I'm even still here, why you even like what I do, then it's a recipe for disaster. And if I let you do that, then we're both sinking the ship, in my understanding, because then I'm not going to give the same essence to the same people that are telling me things like that. Do you get me? Or saying, bruv, this helped me get through my last 10 reps at the gym, or this helped me get through my last 4 hours at work. I hate my job. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what this album is for. So it's like, see yourself in it. When you're at the party and the girl is doing the thing, or when you're trying to figure out who you are, do you get me? Or why do I keep doing this, and why do people keep moving like this, or why am I self-sabotaging, or whatever the case may be. Listen to Out the Blue. Do you know what I mean? When you don't want to get out of your bed on a Monday morning, listen to Jaded. At least then, sharing is caring, in it. So at least then you'll feel like, all right, I feel a bit more understood now. Let me just get in the shower. Do you know what I'm saying? And then that's why come the end of the album where you're at private dinners, it's like, just go eat with your brethren. Like, go and eat with your friends and dress up and have a good time. Even if like money is scarce, or, do you know what I'm saying? Even if it's just like a link up and a drink in a park, bruv, like, just go and be around people. Like, go to your mum's house, invite some friends over, buy some snacks from Tesco. Do you know what I'm saying? Just go and be around and break bread with your brethren, like, because otherwise you're just going to keep sinking. You can't spend all that time by yourself. It's hard, don't get it twisted, but that's what the album is for. It's like to actually physically get you out of your house, like, in that kind of way. So, yeah, man.
I mean, touching on collaboration, because what this album is a collaborative affair, break down kind of the co-creation process. So who's involved? You have a few features on this.
Yeah, there's a few.
OG, Jordan McCamper.
Yeah.
But in terms of kind of the conversations you were having in those rooms, in the studios, who was involved, and what were you taking from them, and vice versa?
I was just learning, I think. And because, like I said, because of the songs well, not all of them, but a lot of the songs got made at different times. So sometimes the song tells the story of the thing that I want to say, and I experienced the thing before, and then the people that are around me at the time are the best ones to help me get that off. Do you get me? So I was working with these guys called Jibe Music at the time, over in Hammersmith, and we did private dinners with them, but their vibe, and I always try and connect people who have similar vibes. You get me? So their vibe is just like really like wanderlusting musicians. Do you get me? That just work in this great studio, Piers Entertainment. We recorded some of it we recorded some of the initial ideas in anyway. And like, I just thought, Jordan's gonna love these guys. Do you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to work with Jordan anyway. I think he'd reached out to me, and I was like, I love your stuff, your voice is dope, etc. How you just do with artists. So he came to the studio, and I think it was booked out at that time, and I invited them to a different studio, funnily enough. And then we wrote Private Dinners as I was like, I want to fuse like bossa nova and hip hop, like what Dram did back in the day with like, I like to cha-cha, even though it's not the same cultural style of music. I was like, I want one like that. And I think Jordan can help me pull it off in like a really regal way, do you know what I'm saying? So he came in and I wanted his like big bellowy voice and etc. So there's moments like that, and then there's other moments where I'll just be like for example with Code, because me and him have such a chemistry anyway, and we share a lot of fans too. So it's like, it's easy for us to go, yeah, they're gonna love this. Do you know what I mean? Like, because we know our chemistry is like just really integral and like chill. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's times when it's a little bit less involved, where I'm just like, yo, are you about? Come studio. Yeah, I'm about Sunday. All right, cool. And then we get in the studio. He just lays the verse. You cool with that? Yeah, I'm fine with that. Cool, done. Do you know what I mean? And then I'll link you on the flip. Do you know what I'm saying? Easy, because he's actually like, we've known each other like maybe nearly 10 years, good part of 10 years. So sometimes it comes from excitement and just like novelty, and you get something great because everybody's really honest in the studio about what they are and aren't cool with. And then other times it's just like rapport and like friendship, just easy, very simple. And then other times it gets a little bit more techie. Obviously, everyone's had those kind of situations. And other times, and then the rest of the times, you're probably just writing the songs yourself and asking the musicians if they can play. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you hear? What don't you hear? What shall I take out? Like, does that minor chord work there? Or whatever the case may be. Like, I'm always in the studio asking the musicians questions, but equally as frequent with how much I give back to the situation from an ideas perspective or from a vision perspective, which to some people can sound like when you're not a musician, can sound like, oh, you're doing too much, let the musician do the thing. But more time, the musicians or the people that I work with that help me create stuff are like, bruv, you make it so easy because you know exactly what you want from this thing. And again, that goes back to not meet some like deep, convoluted, like artistic thing that I want to get off. It was just an initial feeling that, let me just get this off now. Do you know what I mean? So I want it to sound serene here. So could you play it like this? Or can you add some dreamy chords over here? Or whatever the case may be. Do you get me? So all of those moments are definitely visions of mine, but I'm not able to get them off without the people who are a part of the project. And then obviously with specific things like the Roger Taylor and Queen collaboration for this album on my radio, that was a brand collaboration originally. And then Roger personally invited me to come and see them play on tour. And obviously, like, if Roger Taylor from Queen says, come and see us play on tour, personally, you go and see them play on tour. Do you know what I mean? And the only thing, respectfully, that could keep me from that is my own work. And he would, in the same way he respected me and my vision, and he said what he said in the studio about me being passionate, it's exactly the same in any other situation. So I couldn't go because I was working so hard on the album. Everything was in the air still. And then my manager was like, bless her, she was like, I'm gonna try and get this song cleared for your album. And I was like, good luck, like, do you get me? Obviously, if it happens, so good luck. And she got it cleared. Roger handheld the whole situation. Like, his team were brilliant. Queen's estate, Freddie's estate, brilliant. You get me? Because we're using his live studio vocal. It's not a sample from the song. Roger delivered the live studio vocal to us to do it. And it was like, I respect this song. I know the legacy of Queen, but I need to make this sound like a me song rather than a cover. And he said, like, this is a completely new song. So it being a completely new song, why would I not give my blessing? Is how I understood it to be. So yeah, the collaborations all came differently, and that's what I mean by it being like I'm on an adventure, really. It's all intrinsic to my life, and sometimes it will go good, sometimes it will go bad. Sometimes I'll get stabbed in the back, other times I'll get a hug. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, and then more time I'll be writing about those moments, or at least logging them and thinking like, right, is there a song here? If the music so says, you know what I'm saying?